Now let us wrap up the chapter by looking at the end of chapter questions. Let us look at the end of chapter questions. The first question reads, Adam Smith set out 4 canons of taxation. List and explain any 2 canons of his canons and any 2 canons of Bastable, right? So we know that Bastable talked about his canons or qualities, and also Adam Smith also explained his. So we'll start with Adam Smith, right? Adam Smith. Adam Smith talked about 4 canons, right? 4 canons. For us to easily remember it is basically E, C, C, E. Like how we say A, C, C, A. This time around it is E, C, C, E. So the first one is equity or equality, right? The same thing. Equity or equality, right? Second one is certainty. Third one is conveniency, right? Conveniency. Fourth one is economy. So that's basically it. So explaining the first one, we are saying that taxes should be fair. So tax system should be what? Should be fair and should be based on one's ability to pay. So muzimuchaja muntu ndi mene akulandirira. One's ability to pay. That's to do with equity. While certainty, we're saying that taxpayers must be sure of what is expected of them regarding the tax, right? Taxpayers must be sure of what is expected of them regarding tax or payment of tax. What we're saying here, we're saying that aziziwa kuti, how much are they supposed to pay, right? When are they supposed to pay? How are they supposed to pay it? And where should they pay it? They should know all this. Asamaukakulisa kuziziwa kungoda kuti sonkole mulipa wakuti. They should be able to know kuti ndilipa ndalama zakuti, ndikalipa kwakuti. That's being certain, right? That's being certain, right? That's certainty, right? Taxpayer must be sure of what is expected of them regarding payment of tax. Regarding payment of tax. How, where, how much, right? All of that taxpayer must know. Conveniency, right? Conveniency is just to do with collection of what this tax. So collection of tax, right, should be should be related to the time the taxpayer has money, right? Tenge tax from him, or you should require tax from him when he has the money, right? When he has the money. So collection of tax should relate to the time, should relate to the time the taxpayer has the money. So we're saying that that's being convenient. It should be administered in a convenient manner, right? In a convenient manner, right? So you want to collect these taxes when the guy actually has the money, right? That's being convenient, right? That means he'll easily pay you because he has his money. Then you can take a portion of it. That's to do with conveniency. While economy, we're just saying that the cost of collecting the tax should not outweigh the benefit from it. So tikufuna kuti the cost of administering this tax, the cost of collecting this tax should not outweigh the benefit that we receive from collecting this money, right? That's economy. Sitikufuna kuti ndalama zimene timalipira anthu aku MRA kuti apange collect tax ikupyola ndalama zimene tikukatolera. That wouldn't be economy, right? So we want to make sure that there is this cost and benefit analysis, and the benefit should outweigh the cost. Those are to do with Adam Smith, while Bastable and his friends set out also their own. So we know just to list them. So we have elasticity. Right, we have elasticity. We have another one called productivity. Right. We also have simplicity. We have diversity. We have flexibility. And we have comprehensibility. So we'll look at each, right? When you are looking at elasticity, the word elastic means a thing is responding, right? Elastic, that means chikupanga respond to a force, right? So in this term, we're saying that tax system, collection of tax or administration of tax should automatically respond to the change in taxpayers' income. So, administration of tax or collection of tax should automatically respond to the changes in the taxpayers' income. So it means that if the taxpayer's income increase, automatically you should collect a lot from this guy. If the taxpayer's money decrease, you should automatically collect less from this guy. That's elasticity. While productivity, we're saying that the tax that we are collecting must yield sufficient revenue for the government. We know that why we collect tax is basically to raise revenue for the government, right? So we're saying that we should be able to raise enough revenue for the government, but at the same time, while tukubanga raise enough revenue for the bank, we should make sure that our collecting of money should not adversely affect the production of production in the economy. That means musapange collecting drama zambiri kwa company kupeze kuti anthu akupanga they are failing to sustain themselves as a business. That means it will affect the economy. So we're saying that taxes must yield enough revenue, right? Enough revenue for the government, but should not adversely, right? Adversely affect the production, right, in the economy. So we're saying that we should be able to collect as much as revenue from the people that is sufficient, that is enough for the government running. But at the same time, we should make sure that we are not collecting too much, right? Right? That is affecting the production in the economy, right? Simplicity, right? We're talking about that tax system should be fairly simple and not complicated. It shouldn't be complicated, right? Shouldn't be complicated. It should be plain, right? So that's simplicity in that manner. Another thing that we should look at is diversity, right? So we're saying a tax system should cover a wider range, right? Tax system should cover a wider range of taxpayers' income sources. So tisapange focus pachimodzi kungonena kuti songoti tizidula pa ujeni, tizidula pa ndalama zanu za ku ujeni zimene mukulandira ku banki. Nope. Right? Nope. Sakunena kunena kuti mupange yani zimene mukulandira rather kuma employment. No, we want to make sure it's wider. That means ku employment atengako, kaya kuma investment anu atengako, kaya mukamagula zinthu atengako. That's basically broadening your what? Your coverage, right? So it's covering a wider range of taxpayers' income sources. That's being diverse. It means kuti anthu ambiri atapeza kuti sakulanda ndalama zambiri from their employment, they're able to collect it kwinako, right? That's diversity. While flexibility, it means that easily be able to adjust the tax rates. So, are you able to adjust the tax rates easily? Right? Mukuona kuti there's a need to adjust for the tax rates. Can you able to adjust them easily? Right? That's flexibility. Now, finishing up with comprehensibility is to be that taxpayer must easily, right? Taxpayers must easily understand the tax system. So that's basically it, right? Let's just go through them again. So Bastable highlighted these qualities of a good tax system. Elasticity, right? Collection of taxation should automatically respond to the changes in taxpayers' income, right? Munthu akalandira ndalama zambiri, mduleni zambiri. Ndalama zake zikachepa, mduleni zochepa. That's being elastic. Kutanuka, right? Being responsive, right? Productivity was saying that taxpayer must yield enough revenue for the government, but at the same time should make sure that this collection of tax is not affecting adversely the production in the economy. That's productivity. Simplicity, we're just saying that the tax system should be fairly simple and not too complicated. That's simplicity. Diversity, we're just saying that the tax system should cover a wide range of taxpayers' income sources. Mubange nsonko ku employment kwake, ku investment kake, akamagula goods and services. That's basically what diversifying, right? Diversifying. Flexibility. We're saying that it should easily be able to be adjusted to suit what the situation, right? Should be easily be capable of being adjusted to suit the situation. The tax rate should be easily adjustable, right? That's flexibility. And lastly, we're talking about comprehensibility, coming from the word understanding, right? The taxpayer must easily understand the tax system. So that's what Taxable actually set out. So the question asked us to mention two by Adam Smith and two by Bastable, but we just mentioned all for the sake of learning. So the second one is saying explain the following. What is progressive taxes? Progressive taxes. I will just write it. Progressive tax. I will just write it here. From the word progress, right? The phrase progress, to progress, right? So we're saying that these are taxes right? Whose rate increases as the taxpayer's income increase. As the taxpayer's income increases. That's progressive. An example of a progressive tax is payee. Payee. Ngati munaonapo kuma payee rates imaenda chonchi, right? These are just examples. I'm not using the current payee rates. So imaenda kuti from zero, the first 100,000 or from 0 to 100,000 should be taxed 0%. It's a tax-free band. The next 100,000 that you have, right, to maybe 250 should be taxed at what? 25%. And then from maybe the next 250, right, to 250, going forward, maybe 30%. Have you seen that the tax rates are increasing in Ramazan Uzigamachuruku? Tax rates are increasing in Ramazan Uzigamachuruku. That's what? Progressive. Progressive. An example is pay. Pay as you earn. The second, I would need to bange to own regressive. It's basically the opposite, right? Regressive. It means drama zako zikamachepa ukuduida sonko wambili, right? So what the definition here is basically these are taxes whose amount is fixed regardless of taxpayers' income. Ndiye nanena kuti it is the opposite of what? Progressive. When your income is decreasing, you are paying a lot. Koma apaonera kuti is the taxes whose amount is fixed. It doesn't mean it doesn't change regardless of the income that you receive. Why we are saying that it is fixed? Why we are saying that it is regressive? It's because, for example, you find gray sugar oil, right? And we know the gray sugar, timalipira 16.5 as VAT. Because an example of this is VAT. An example of regressive is VAT. So it means on this bale of sugar, maybe I'll pay 16,500 as my VAT. This is just an example. 16,500 as my VAT. On top of what? The purchasing price. What it means is that muntu amene amalandira 100,000 ndi amene amalandira 500,000 will pay the same, or 800,000 or 500,000. Let me just say 1 million for easy calculation. Will pay the same, right? Apa sindingobeka example yophika kuti sandivute kupanga kwake. Should be 10,000. Akulipira ndalama zofanana regardless of uyu akula 100,000 uyu akulandira bwanji, akulandira 1 million. Koma mukapanga compare to the income that they are receiving, it means that amene akulandira 1 million, from his income he's paying how much, right? So we can see that he's paying 1% of his income. While amene akulandira 100,000, he's paying how much? So we can see he's paying 10%, right? 10% of his income. So mukona amene akulandira ndalama zochepa akupezeka akupeka msonkho ambiri as a proportion to the income that is what earned. That's being regressive. So we're saying that the amount is the same regardless of the what taxpayer's income. While proportionate taxes right? Proportionate taxes, we're saying that these are taxes, right? Taxes that are paid at the same rate. Kaya mupanga ndalama zambiri muzilipira bei. Example is corporate taxes. Corporate taxes or corporate taxes, right? Currently Malawi is 30%. It means that company imene kupanga 1 million will pay 30% of its income. That's proportionate. Imene kupanga 1 billion is paying also 30% of its income. So this is what proportionate. They are paying the same rates, right? They are paying the same rates at the same rate. Sikuti chifukwa choti ndalama zikuchuluka ikukula ngati imene imapangira progressive ka ngati pay ayi. Kamupanga 2 billion, you still pay 30% of your time. That's to do with proportionate. So that's what the question required us to do, right? Now they are saying that what is the primary purpose of taxation? As we are going through the course, we did not talk about what is the primary purpose of taxation. But the primary purpose of taxation is to raise revenue for the government. Raise revenue for the government. That's the primary, right? Primary reasons why we collect tax is we want to raise money for the government, right? So that it can actually run it, right? So this is how the government raises its money, right? Collection of tax. So that's the primary reasons. All the other reasons are secondary, but this one is the main one. Raise revenue for the government. If they said what are the purposes, you could say why are the reasons, right? Like stated in chapter 1. But the primary or the biggest reason is basically you want to raise revenue for the government. Right. Now, number 4, they're saying that in almost every economy in the country, people complain about making contribution to the government, which most of them think it is unfair. Your friend, an engineer, is currently employed with an engineering firm and has asked you to explain why taxes should be paid. Why taxes should be reasons of paying taxes. Why? So the first one we know is basically raising revenue for the government, right? Ndalama kuti apange run, raising revenue for the government, right? Administration of the government, or raising revenue for running of the government, raising revenue for running of the government. That's the first and the primary. But there are also other reasons why we do that. Second thing is that to discourage consumption of certain goods deemed undesirable, right? Undesirable. Let's write it again here. Undesirable. So because they feel that they are undesirable, they might charge more taxes. So zidule and asamagule, e.g. alcohol or cigarettes. Alcohol or cigarettes. Right? The government feels that these products are undesirable, then they will charge taxes so that they discourage consumption. Another thing is that we want to make sure that the government can protect local, right? Let me just say protection of local businesses from foreign competition. From foreign competition. How do the government do that? Right? Chifukwa chona kuti foreign competition, these ones might be multinations or global companies, right? So chifukwa chimenecho, they enjoy economies of scales, right? That's why zinthu ukapanga import from China zimachipa. So they say kuti kumalawi kunonso tikupanga zofanana, right? Because tikupanga tokha locally for small businesses, it means that katundu akupanga, for example, atapeza kuti akumugulisa 20,000 katundu tapanga kumalawi konkuno. Koma munthu akapanga import chomwecho, utomachipanga import olore say kuti 7,500. Then angafuna kuti azigula pa 20,000 where koma munthu utogula pa 7,500. So what they do is that they impose taxes, right, on these goods like excise and custom duty. Kupeza kuti katundu uja wachoka pa 7,500 umene mnamgula kukafika pa 22,500 mtengo uja after mapeka ma taxes apa katundu uja. Mwaona? So it means kunena kuti katundu wopanga import uja azindula. Amona? So you'd rather just buy from Malawi at 20,000. That's how the government protects local businesses from foreign competition. Right? Foreign competition. Right? Another thing that we want to achieve when doing imposing these taxes, we're saying that we want to redistribute wealth. We know that Antwena are in drama Zambidi, Antwena are ngochepekedwa. So we want to take a lot from the billionaires, the millionaires, and take less from the poor people. Sometimes we're not taking anything, right? And build public goods. Public goods, right? In the zinthu zimene alisatu zigwisa ntchito, like schools, right? Hospitals, roads. These are public goods. Koma tikaonesesa kuti zinthu zizamangidwa kuchokera ndrama za anthu olemera. So it's like kuti tikutengako ndrama zameneyo nkumaka agayira anthu osauka. That's how this wealth is being redistributed. So we are saying redistribution of wealth. We are taking a lot from the poor, from the rich, to build public, to use them for public goods, right? Sura matenga ndrama zinkumagaga kwa anthu osauka, no, right? They just use stuff like public goods so that everyone can use, including the poor. That's how we redistribute wealth. And lastly, another one is used as a tool, as a fiscal tool. Let me just call it as a fiscal tool, right? Fiscal tool to adjust the economy. Maybe you have heard the word fiscal policy, right? Fiscal policy. This is to do with economics, right? Economics and how the government actually try to adjust the economy. Fiscal policy is just to do with spending, right? Government spending, stuff like those, right? To boost the economy. So how do they use this as a fiscal tool, right? To adjust the economy, right? Maybe you might not understand if you have not done economics before. In entire inflation, what they'll do is to impose high taxes. High taxes. What is inflation? Inflation ndekuti katundu kungokwera. Kuti mumvesese why katundu amangokwera, apart from other reasons, but the biggest reason is that anthu ali ndrama zambiri zono. In other words, there's a lot of money in circulation. Anthu alesi ali ndalama. Koma katundu ndochepa. Katundu amene wapangidwa produce ndochepa. What happens? If katundu ndochepa, anthu ali ndrama zambiri, it will mean that there will be high demand, but what? Low supply. So we know now when demand supply, if how it is not equal, it will actually adjust itself by increasing the prices. My prices are kudula because ambiri akuchifuna. Muzo akale munthu akamachifuna chinthu, anthu ambiri akamachifuna chinthu, anthu amapeza kuti akukweza mtengo chifukwa choti anthu ambiri akupanga ofa chinthucho kuti atha kugula. So because of that, zinthu zimakwera mitengo kopsa, right? Like how Zambia kunachitikira, or not Zambia, Zimbabwe, right? Zimbabwe anthu ankapeza kuti ali ndi ndrama zambiri, right? Munthu ali ndi 10 million. Kwa 10 million yo kwangopeza kuti wangogulira bread. Chifukwa ndrama zilipo zambiri than goods zimene zopangidwa produce. So zinthu ziya zimapeza zokula kupeza bread yakungusa 10 million. Right? That means there was a lot of money in circulation. So how would they reduce this lot of money in circulation? What they would do is just to charge high taxes kuti azitenga ndrama zimene izozo. For example, apeza kuti akudula 50% ya malipiro ako akutenga government. It means that you will actually remain with less disposable income. So if again you have less disposable income, it means that there will be less money in circulation, right? And there is a lot of good that is being produced, right? It means katundu achipa. Chifukwa anthu akugula na anthu ochepa. So katundu achipa. So that's how they adjust it in terms of inflation. Here, recession, economy sikuenda bwino. What they will do is what they will do is to charge less taxes. Kuti anthu azipeze kuti ali ndrama zambiri zopanga spend. That's called disposable income. So anthu akakhala ndi ndrama zambiri zopanga spend, it means that they might buy a lot of goods. Akamagula these goods, absolutely economy is being boosted. That's how right taxation can be used as a fiscal policy. So we have seen a number of things. I've mentioned 5 things. First, raising revenue for the running of the government. Second thing, discourage consumption of certain goods that are deemed undesirable. Third is protection of local business from foreign competition. Fourth is redistribution of wealth. And fifth, use as a fiscal policy to adjust the economy. And lastly, let us finish up to look at what is taxation. We saw that taxation is a system, right? So taxation can be defined as is impositions or are impositions, right? Made by government bodies, governing bodies. These are government bodies. So impositions made by governing bodies or government bodies, governing bodies, right? On income and worth of people under their jurisdiction. Jurisdiction nakamana kuti is just basically an area or a premise, all right, or a region where a particular law or regulation can apply. So, for example, my taxes up Malawi kunoku cannot go beyond what Malawi. That's the jurisdiction. AE cannot go beyond Malawi. It's for people from Malawi. That's the jurisdiction. That's the area that law covers. They say kuti my city rates are Zomba City Council cannot go beyond Zomba City Council. That's the jurisdiction. As Zomba City Council, sanga matulere ndrama zakulira City Council. That's not that jurisdiction. So we're saying that these are impositions that are made by governing bodies, including the central bank, the local, or the central government, the local government, and any other government agencies, right? On incomes and worth of people. When talking about people, we're talking about people and also companies, right? Because we know that in law, a company is a corporate person under their jurisdiction. So these are impositions made by governing bodies on incomes and worth of people under their jurisdiction. That's to do with taxation. So I'll just write it so we get it. So taxation are impositions made by governing bodies on income and worth of people or persons under their jurisdiction. 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 Right? That's basically it. While the other one is to do with equity, that's being fair. Right? So this means being fair and taxes being based on one's ability to pay. So we're saying that equity is just being fair, right? Taxes must be fair and also be based on one's ability to pay. That's being that's equity. That's being equal. And lastly, direct and indirect tax. So direct tax is just taxes charged on income stroke worth of taxpayers. While indirect taxes are taxes charged on goods or services. Example of indirect taxes include custom duty, right? VAT and excise duty. While direct, we have payee, corporate tax, estate duty, and so on. So that's basically to do with this, and that's the end of the chapter. Thank you.